Have you ever felt like you were living below your potential as a man of faith and purpose? That's exactly where I was before attending Rise Up Kings, a 3-day event that completely transformed my understanding of what it means to become the man God created you to be. It changed how I see myself as a leader in my faith, my family, my fitness, and my finances. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the 3 paradigm shifts that changed my life and how continuing to live the way you're currently know might be keeping you from recognizing the person that God created you to be. So in today's video, you're going to discover, what Rise Up Kings is and why it matters to you, not as a promotion, but because the impact was so profound that it compelled me to share this message here. And you're also going to learn the 4 paradigm shifts that I experienced that transformed my approach to life and how they've been showing up in my daily reality since the event. And lastly, where I hope to be as a 4-pillar man in a year, growing in my faith, my family, my fitness, and my finances with intention and with purpose. Look at this cracked mirror. For years, this is how I saw myself: fragmented, broken, unwanted. After losing my mother at 14 and being disowned by my father at 17, when I looked in this mirror, I saw someone who needed to be a lone wolf, someone who couldn't trust or connect. But then something changed. In Matthew 4:19, Jesus says to Peter and Andrew, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." For years, I never understood what that meant for my life. Then I attended Rise Up Kings, a 3-day intensive designed to awaken men to their God-given potential, and finally understood what it means to be a fisher of men rather than being a lone wolf. This event showed me a clear reflection of who God created me to be. So what exactly is Rise Up Kings? Well, it's a 3-day immersive event, but it's not Bible study or a church service. It's more so like a brotherhood of like-minded men who are committed to growing in the 4 key areas, which are faith, family, fitness, and finance. First of all, in this video, I want to thank Targ Johnson so much for sending me to this event. He previously attended a Rise Up Kings event himself and then blessed me with the opportunity to go as a part of their mission to expand the message. I'm incredibly grateful for his generosity, and if you guys can, just go ahead. His link is down in the description to his YouTube channel. Go ahead and show him some love. Now, I can't share specific details about, what happened at the Rise Up Kings because they're confidential. But what I can share is how profoundly it impacted me. And like I mentioned earlier, I lost my mom when I was 14. And then my dad disowned me when I was 17. That kind of rejection can leave a mark. And it made me feel like unwanted and unworthy of love or deep connection. And so I became a lone wolf. And don't get me wrong, I could talk to people just fine, but I had trouble really connecting on a deeper level and really being open and vulnerable. It was my self-defense mechanism. If I didn't let anyone, truly see me or get close to my heart, they couldn't hurt me. I was protecting myself from rejection, but I was actually isolating myself from the authentic connections that could help me heal. And at Rise Up Kings, I found God in a completely new way. For the first time in my life, I truly understood that I am worthy of God's love, not because I've done anything, but simply because He created me. He wants me and He loves me. And despite everything I've been through, despite my mistakes, my flaws, I am worthy of His love. And so are you. And one of the most powerful experiences for me at Rise Up Kings was when other men in my group saw leadership potential in me that I couldn't necessarily see in myself. You remember that verse I mentioned? I will make you fishers of men. And for the first time, I understood what that meant for me in my life. It means stepping out of isolation and into leadership, using my experiences to help guide others. There was a moment when a man I just met, super genuine, shared their thoughts about me. And, one of them looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You can lead people, but only if you want to." And this hit me hard, like a ton of bricks. I realized I had been hiding from my potential to impact others. Making this video right now is a direct result of that shift. The old me would have never been this open and vulnerable, talking about personal stuff on camera for all to see. But I've realized that opening up is the only way forward. Staying cut off isn't an option anymore. If I want to become the man God created me to be, I need to step out and step up. And the third major shift was realizing how the smallest details in my life affect the people around me. Like, let me give you an example. I used to think that being late to meetings or following through on small commitments was just about me, and it only affected me. But at Rise Up Kings, I realized that these small inconsistencies send a message to others that they are not valued and they're not cared for. There was this awakening moment when I saw how my lone wolf mentality had really blinded me to my impact on others. I wasn't seeing the ripple effects of, actions, both positive and negative. And since then, I've become much more attentive and intentional and all about the details, whether it's being on time, following through on what I say I'll do, or even just, being fully present in conversations. These are the small things that matter more than I ever realized. And finally, the fourth paradigm shift, which was about standards. I thought I had standards in my life, but I had no framework to maintain them, right? And that's where the concept of the 4-pillar man came in. The 4-pillar man structure is really simple, yet a very powerful framework. Number 1 is faith, your relationship with God and spiritual growth. Number 2 is family, how you show up as a son, a brother, a partner, a lover, a husband. Number 3 is fitness and taking care of your physical temple. Number 4 is finances and being a good steward of resources, building wealth with purpose. And now I have specific standards in each area. Like for my faith, I've committed to daily prayer and Bible study. For family, I'm intentionally rebuilding relationships that I neglected. For fitness, I've started a consistent workout routine and improve my diet. And for finances, I'm being more disciplined with my spending and investing with purpose. And so since Rise Up Kings, the changes in my life have been really tangible. I'm approaching situations like completely differently. Before someone criticized me, I'd, immediately get defensive or like shut down. And now I try to listen and see if there's truth that I need to hear. Before, I made decisions based solely on what was best for me. And the hardest beliefs to question are the ones we don't think to question. And so now I consider how my choices affect the people around me. And, there's this quote by Ed Milet, love him, that really resonates with me. I would hate to die and get to heaven, meet the person I should have been, and not even recognize him. That's what's at stake for me. And maybe for you too. I was on a path where I might never have been the person God created me to be. But now, that's changed. Now, looking ahead, here's where I hope to be in 1 year as a 4-pillar man. For faith, I want to not only deepen my own relationship with God, but help others and lead others to him as well. And for family, I want to, reconcile relationships and be there for my wife and be there for my brothers and my family. For fitness, my goal is to be in the best shape of my life. And that's not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. And for finance, I'm working to build up my business right now with purpose, using the resources I have to make a positive impact. And this isn't about perfection. It's about intentional progress in each area. Now that I've shared these paradigm shifts with you, you might be thinking, hey, Josh, this is great, but how do I actually apply this to my own life? Well, that's exactly where I found myself after, Rise Up Kings. They showed us how to arise and accept the challenge through their challenge for men's Bible study. But what I want to do is I want to take it a step further. I'm thinking about leading a 90-day virtual men's group that goes beyond just Bible study to help you become a 4-pillar man with faith, family, fitness, and finance. This creates both an opportunity and a challenge. And now that you know about these principles and the paradigm shifts that I have, you have the knowledge that you can do better. You can be more intentional and detailed in how you live your life. The question is, will you choose to apply it? And once again, as Ed Milet said, I would hate to get to heaven and meet the person I should have been and not recognize him. That is what is at stake. So if you are interested in joining the 90-day journey to become the man that God created us to be, then go to buildleverage.com/arise or click the link in the description below. And I should mention that, leading something like this takes a considerable amount of effort. So I will only be moving forward with this if it has enough interest. But for those of you who are looking to join and want to put in the work to build a life of purpose across the 4 pillars, then I will see you on the other side. Last thing, remember, transformation doesn't happen by accident. It happens through intentional action and surrounding yourself with the right people. This could be your opportunity to stop falling short and start becoming the person God knows you can be.